Hallo miteinander, I'm Gish86, and this is Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. We are now in the second dungeon of the game. It is a little bit bigger than the first one, but it is still fairly simple. It is loaded with traps though. The map is right here. We have to go to the top right, and we start all the way from the lower left. The other dungeon-specific items for this one are also near the start. In fact, the pencil is only this ladder down. You should skip the other statues in this room, they're not worth getting. The torch is also pretty much on the way. Whoa, that slime landed directly onto Pit's head. I guess he wanted to suck his brains, like a zombie slime. Early in this dungeon, I get hit quite a lot, but it's actually not too terrible, because there are so many opportunities to get this health back. Doesn't matter that much. There are many trap rooms in this dungeon. In the last episode I asked for a medieval torture chamber, and I guess my wish was granted. So you see, be careful what you wish for. The trap rooms are actually a little bit harder to deal with than they look, because the floor is slippery. You may need some getting used to these, even though they're all pretty much identical. To the left here is the first of two shops in this dungeon. Once again, the prices are very steep. Despite what you're seeing here, you should not buy too many items in the dungeons. With me, I don't need too many hearts anymore. I have pretty much all the items that I need in this game, but that may not be the case for you. Only thing I really need to buy now are hammers. This dungeon has a new type of enemy. These guards with the halberds are actually not really guards, they're stone golems, which I guess you could also class as guards. But anyway, despite being stone golems, who you'd think are durable, they die in one shot from us. That's because we have 6 power arrows. We are just way too strong. All over this dungeon are many statues. Most of them hold health, but some also hold those little flying fuzzballs. If you open one of these with the fuzzballs in it, you are very likely to get hit. There's sadly no indication which one has a fuzzball in it. It doesn't randomize, it's always the same. But yeah, be careful there. I'm going to show you a little bit of a detour, you could say. These rooms that I'm going through now are not on the direct path to the boss. You may have to go through them if you've been turned into an eggplant and had to go to a hospital. But apart from that, they're pretty much just content that I wanted to include. The dungeon was a little bit too short without it, if you ask me. Get another hammer from this opportunist pig. One interesting thing that I want to say about the game is that it was actually never released in Japan. Only North America and Europe got it. I really don't know why that was so, but it makes one thing even more surprising. The Japanese only had Pit in the very first Kid Icarus, way back in 1986, and still Pit made it to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I bet many people were like, Pit? Who's that? Oh well, I'm one to talk. I have never actually heard of the Ice Climbers before I got Melee. Smash Brothers Melee, I mean. So yeah. Pit is a little bit obscure, you could say. Whoa, almost got turned into an eggplant there. That's a bit mean. Often you would just rush to that hot spring when you see it, and you'll run right into that eggplant wizard's shot. Very mean beginner's trap. I've been through this dungeon so many times, I actually should have known better. I really was almost hit. Just now we passed another hospital, and there's another group of eggplant wizards ahead, right before the boss actually, and that's the hospital that you would have to backtrack to. There they are. This is also the penultimate room of this dungeon. To the right is the boss. And compared to the Minotaur, this boss is pretty much a joke if you ask me. It's the Skull Flyer. He tries to hurt you by ramming into you and throwing flames on your head. When those flames hit the floor, they will spread into 3 pillars. The best position to be at is pretty much in the center of the room. Try not to be below the boss. He can hit you easily if you are. When he's down to half health, he'll get faster. He doesn't really have a pattern, I think. So sometimes he's easier, sometimes he's harder. Here he's very, very easy. But he's never truly hard, I'd say. Really, you'd think this was the first and not the second boss. He's already done. So, we grab the second sacred treasure and end the dungeon. I'm Gish86. This was Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. And next time, this Skyworld Tower. Bis bald!